Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here. How are you? How are you today? In this moment, just take a minute to just notice where you're at. Notice your space, whether you're outside or inside. Where's the sun or the moon? Notice the direction and where you are in relation to the sun or the moon. Notice your body. Notice your breath. You chose to click play and listen to this episode today, and I thank you for being with me the next, 30 minutes. I'll try to keep it 30 minutes. We'll see how chatty I get. But I just want to thank those of you who have left comments and reviews and clicked the follow button. It helps share this with those who are trying to find help and trying to find support. So taking a moment to do that is much appreciated. We also want to keep this a free resource to you, our amazing listeners. So if you have not taken time to do that, we would really appreciate it. It is just me today. I know it has been a while since Alana and I have recorded a session together. Summers are crazy with both of us traveling and taking time off and a lot of family events. We will be back in the fall and cannot wait to roll out some episodes together again. In the meantime, I wanted to share a quick episode with you and share 5 things that can help you learn to love yourself after betrayal, or at least find that self-love again. I recorded this topic on my other podcast, the Empowered Divorce podcast, but I thought it would be really helpful for all of you because no matter where you are in your healing journey or in your relationship navigation, this is what we are all aiming for. This is what we are all trying to cultivate, to become more closely aligned with our higher selves, the self that is whole, that is complete, that is enough, that is lovable, just the way that you are, no matter what. Take away the shoulds, the must be's in order to be lovable. That's not a thing. Take away the roles, the role of wife, mother, daughter, friend. You are still worthy of love and enough outside of those roles. Stop the job, stop the talent, stop the hobby. You are still of worth and value. We have learned to identify with all of these external things to measure, to give us that sense of measure of our worth, our value, our enoughness, our lovability. So when those external things change, because they do and they will, then it changes our worth and value in our minds. This can't be a thing anymore if you want to cultivate real, healthy, secure self-love and attachment. So today I'm going to offer you 5 things to consider to help you cultivate more self-esteem, more self-love, and really believe that you are enough just as you are. So number 1, you've got to get honest with yourself about what is out of alignment in your life. Betrayal is going to knock you off balance 100%. And suddenly you are saying or doing things that don't match what you maybe even actually believe or how you actually want to show up. So you might find yourself saying yes when you really want to say no, just to avoid conflict. You might ignore your exhaustion and pour energy into maybe a situation, a circumstance, another person to just prove that you're fine. The amount of times that I've heard myself in the past, I'm fine if it's fine, everything's fine. Or I hear clients say that, but really we're dying inside. Or maybe we are out of alignment with our truth because we're downplaying the truth, maybe in order to keep the relationship intact, keeps us in denial. It feels safer to not really look at or accept the truth. All of this creates this inner tension, the feeling of being stuck, numb, or resentful. And it's not just about your partner's choices, it's about how little by little you're pulling away from yourself. Maybe we're agreeing to have sex and we really don't want to because we're afraid that it will push them away or make them betray again, even though your value is honesty and respect, self respect. So we need to shift to a healthier realignment by pausing to check in with yourself. Does this align with what I value? Does this align with how my body feels right now? What my gut is telling me is right or true? If the answer is no, honor that truth, even when it feels uncomfortable. For example, saying, not in a place to be sexual right now. I need emotional safety first. That is realigning with your values, with yourself, being honest with yourself. Every time you choose alignment, you're teaching yourself that my values are my compass, not someone else's approval. Someone else's approval of me and what I do or don't do or say or not say is not and cannot be my compass to my own self alignment. With each alignment choice that you make that aligns with your value system, you start to feel less stuck because your body, mind, and spirit is going to recognize that you're actually taking care of yourself. You're actually seeing yourself, believing yourself, trusting yourself. So, again, because betrayal scrambles your sense of alignment, suddenly what you value deep down, like truth and safety and respect and authenticity, is going to get overridden by those survival strategies. You might find yourself living according to fear or maybe even old attachment patterns instead of your core values. So when we talk about alignment, we're really asking, am I living in the way that reflects what I truly believe, what I truly need? Or am I living to soothe fear, earn love, be chosen, or avoid pain? I see this show up in different attachment styles too. If we have an anxious partner, oftentimes we're going to equate self love with being chosen or validated by somebody else. Self love here might look like overfunctioning in the relationship, fixing, rescuing, or sacrificing parts of the self, time, energy, body to prove that worth, to prove the lovability here. This is not the true self love that I'm talking about. This is survival that is masked as devotion. Alignment that I'm talking about, real alignment is going to get lost here in this anxious way of showing up because choices that you make for yourself and the relationship are going to be driven by the fear of abandonment or being alone, not values. If we are more avoidant attachment and we are trying to step into self love, I often see mistaking self love here with complete and total independence. So we have like a hyper independence happening, swinging way on the other side of the pendulum. And so those with this type of behavior patterns are going to shut down their needs. They're going to avoid vulnerability. And really, they're going to start convincing themselves that they don't really even need connection. So, alignment, real, healthy, self love, secure alignment is going to get lost here because they disconnect from their own heart, body, pretend that they don't need anything. And that is not the same as being secure, the kind of secure self love in true, authentic alignment that I'm talking about. Because secure self love, real self love alignment is in that secure approach is I can honor my needs without fear. I can connect without losing the parts of myself that are important, that are valuable. I can love without abandoning myself or self betraying. It really looks like being honest when you're out of alignment, noticing when fear is driving the choices and choosing to step back in to those values rather than those old patterns. They're going to show up. We're going to step into them, but realigning and recommitting to real, healthy, secure self love is what we're wanting to practice. And the more we do that, the more we cultivate real self love. So saying yes to intimacy when your body is screaming no, that's because you're afraid of rejection. We're anxious here. Or refusing to share your feelings because you're convinced that no one is going to meet you there. You don't want to risk being seen as too much if we share our emotions. That's the avoidant. Minimizing your pain to keep the relationship together. And I'm air quoting that because it's really not together, but minimizing to keep that relationship together, even though your truth, your gut, your instinct is screaming to be acknowledged. So check in with yourself. Healthy alignment here, really healthy self love alignment is checking in with yourself. Does this choice align with my values, honesty, respect, safety, authenticity? If not, slow down. Give yourself permission to act in alignment instead of survival mode. That might mean saying no when you've always said yes, or speaking up when your default has been silence, staying quiet. Living out of alignment is what's going to keep you trapped in the cycles, the unhealthy pattern cycles, fear, self abandonment. Living in alignment teaches your nervous system, I'm safe with myself. I can be honest, even when it's hard, because I'm not going to abandon myself. My values are my compass, not someone else's approval. That is the beginning of real secure self love. Okay, number two, set and honor your boundaries. It is your job to protect your well being. When you have lived in betrayal and long term relational trauma, your central nervous system has been left unprotected. Not only was your physical space, your relationship unsafe, but your emotional and relational impact was dismissed or violated. And this takes a toll. Your body learns to stay on high alert. And so safety signals are going to get all scrambled. What should feel safe doesn't. And what isn't actually safe sometimes feels familiar. And therefore, I'm air quoting safe. This is why after a betrayal, boundaries can feel so hard because trauma parts are going to say, if I protect myself, then I lose the relationship. If I speak up, then I'm going to be rejected or punished. And so over time, you might find yourself defaulting to that backwards safety. You're going to shut down your needs. You're going to stay small, be silent, people pleasing, or constantly monitoring your partner. These things feel, they feel protective in the moment, but they're draining your nervous system. The energy that it takes for your central nervous system to keep functioning that way is pulling energy from the rest of the organs of your body. This is why we have illness and autoimmune and other diseases. It's draining your nervous system, and then it reinforces all of those false messages that you don't matter, that you're not lovable, that you're not enough. Boundaries are what rewire this backward safety. When you are clear about what's okay and not okay with you, with your relationship, in your space, and you honored that through follow through, you are then teaching your nervous system, hey, my safety really matters. My well being matters. I matter. For example, policing and monitoring your partner's phone, their whereabouts, their location, because your system has learned that hypervigilance equals safety. If I know where they are and they're where they're supposed to be, okay, I'm safe. In reality, this keeps your nervous system flooded and exhausted. I want to pause right here because for those of you who are like, oh crap, she's calling me out, please invite self compassion to be here right now. I did this. I know Alana did this. This is very common response. So I am not saying any of this to create shame or tell you you're doing it wrong. This is only for you to become aware of what really is healthy and safe and what isn't. So you can start moving in a healthier direction. This is why it's so important to have a professional help you and support you, because in my experience, this takes time. It takes slowing down, giving you some examples of different thoughts or different ways that we might be approaching this, but everyone's going to be different, right? So having someone support you to help find how you're approaching this, how your system feels backward safety is going to be so helpful. But it's important to understand what's really actually happening on the back end. Really, what's going on here is your nervous system is going to flood and you are going to feel exhausted. A healthy shift is, hey, this behavior from my partner or from this person is crossing my boundary. Here's what I will or won't accept. And then you're going to follow through in a way that protects your energy and is aligned, we're going back to number one, with your values. Here's what I will do. Here's what I won't do. And if this person isn't going to respect that, then here's what I'm going to do to stay safe, real safe, and in alignment with my values. Having a professional help walk you through how to formulate that boundary for yourself can be very, very helpful. Let me also just clarify here, this doesn't necessarily have to be a boundary with a partner, with someone else. This can be a boundary that you have with yourself. And maybe this is a safer, because every situation is different and you're all in different stages of the healing process. So maybe right now, to help cultivate this principle into your life, it's the boundary that you set with yourself in the sense of maybe it's bedtime. Maybe you know that you need to be in bed by 10 p.m. every night. Are you going to honor that boundary? When you do, you will cultivate a sense of self-trust and self-love and believe that your sleep, your body, your energy matters because you matter. And you'll start to like yourself. You'll start to like how you live, how you care for yourself, and you'll start to love yourself. This raises your self-esteem because your body and mind begin to believe the truth. I am worthy of safety. I am worthy of rest. I am worthy of protecting my energy. I'm worthy of having needs. I'm worthy of protection. Without this, the pattern will continue to repeat where we're outsourcing worth to our partner, to other people, to our children, your work, any outside validation. But when you lead the way in protecting your well-being with boundaries, you break the cycle. You break those unhealthy patterns. Boundaries now become, because we have all of these negative beliefs around boundaries. They're mean, they're not nice, they're unkind, they're unchrist-like, all of these different beliefs. But when you really practice this for the right reasons, for the healthy reasons, and cultivate that sense of self-esteem, self-love, self-worth, boundaries are going to become a declaration of that self-love, not a punishment for others, but a protection for you. You deserve protection, and you're the only one that can give that to you, truly. Because as you unfortunately know all too well, you can't control whether or not someone else in your life that you're in a relationship with will protect you. Many of you listening believed that they were invested in that. And yet you're here because you realized and had a reality collapse and realized that they weren't invested. You need to become even more intentionally invested in your own self-protection.
We're going to take a really fast break and tell you about some of the things coming up at Choose. What I'm going to talk about today is not for everybody. It's for those of you who are in a place where you have done a lot of work and you've done a lot of healing and you're not really like heavily involved in the betrayal trauma and recovery world in the ways that you once were. And you are somebody who is goal oriented and you want to heal and you want to move forward and you're ready to expand in the next areas of your life. And you have these pieces of you that have done so much healing and so much growing, yet there's still this other part of you that's like longing for more. There's this other part of you that is ready to really explore like what's next? Who am I? Where am I headed? What do I want? And really unlocking the woman within. Now, the reason I say that this is not for somebody who's new in recovery is because this intensive that we're doing, this Worthy by Design, is truly for a unique woman. It's for a woman who really is in tune with her emotions. She's self reflective. She's looking into her soul. She believes in energy and healing and emotions and the value of those. But you're not sure how to step into that next level of your own growth, your own development. This is what Worthy by Design is for. And I will tell you, I am so excited for this intensive. It's not betrayal trauma focused. There will be women there who have gone through betrayal trauma and done their healing, and there'll be other women who have just grown and developed and are ready for this type of healing as well. And you're going to get to spend 3 nights and 4 days with me, myself, Hallie Roderick, who is one of our coaches, Kelly Johnson, who she partners with us here at Choose Recovery. She does what's called soul soma healing. And I don't know what other way to put it other than she has an absolute gift for touching into people's emotions and helping them release, but also educating and learning and teaching. And so I am so excited to partner with her. And then we also have Kelsey Red, who is a former therapist. She is a yoga certified instructor and she is amazing. If this is speaking to your soul, if you feel that calling, it's going to be it's going to be soul healing. The location we're doing it at is a beautiful, huge home that we have rented that has a private property with a pond and a heated pool and a walking path. It's tucked up in the mountains. And so you are going to get time for relaxation, time for yourself, time for connection, time for growth and healing. It is going to be truly unique. This is the only one of these intensives that we are doing. So this is not one of like, oh, I hope I can catch it next time. This is the one that we are doing. So, again, if you are feeling called to this, if you are interested in it, reach out for more information. You can always jump in and do a free consult with Hallie and learn more about it. If you hear this and you think that is exactly what I want, I need this and I'm not sure how I'm going to pay for it. Choose Recovery Services for all of our intensives does offer scholarship opportunities. So you can always put in an application and see if that's something that you could get some financial support to do that as well. So I would love to see you at Worthy by Design. If this applies to you, you especially are worthy by design, and it will help you learn how to really tap into that.
Okay, and now back to the episode. Okay, the next one, number 3, you will cultivate more self-love when you pay close attention to who and what brings out the worst in you. And really, we need to funnel our time into what is going to bring out the best. After betrayal, after experiencing abusive, destructive behaviors, your sense of reality collapses. The people, the spaces that you once trusted might not feel safe anymore. Yet your nervous system is going to crave what's familiar, even when it's unhealthy. And so you might find yourself clinging to the very relationship or groups or situations that hurt you, hoping for any any ounce, any scrape of reassurance. Or you might leave a group, a setting, a situation feeling heavy, reactive, confused, because the version of you that you've worked so hard to grow is going to slip back into those old patterns in that situation or with that group of people. The confusion is very real. Again, betrayal is going to scramble the body's sense of what is really safe. Sometimes what feels safe, like over monitoring, people pleasing, being small, quiet, is actually draining and dysregulating. And sometimes what feels hard at first, like limiting toxic spaces or choosing to have new healthy connections, is what actually protects and nourishes your nervous systems. It might feel really, really hard and uncomfortable at first. Not long ago, I went to a gathering with some people that I hadn't seen in quite a long time. And since then, I have done a lot of work on myself, a lot of growing, a lot of shifting in my values, learning how I really want to show up in the world and in my space so differently. But when I was with them, I started to see myself slip into old patterns, old behaviors, even old thinking. When I left, I felt awful. I felt heavy. I noticed that I had low energy. I felt very, very drained. I felt really unhappy with myself and how I showed up. So as I reflected on that whole experience, I realized that environment brought out the parts of me that I've worked so hard to heal. It didn't allow that whole experience, those people, they didn't allow space for the version of me that I actually liked and loved and learned to cultivate. There wasn't respect for that new version of me. So I made the decision to limit my time there with those people from that point moving forward. That was how I could show myself self-love. I could validate and really using that experience to solidify how I'm living my life even more like, no, I really do like the way that I'm living. I really do like the values that I've shifted and are now aligning with. It showed such a gap. I mean, it was really actually quite dramatic for me. It showed the gap in the old versions of me and the new versions of me, even though it was hard and I wasn't super happy with myself, it was also an opportunity for me to be really proud of the work that I have done. And then I realigned with my values and how I live my life today, present, how I want to move forward. It helped me recommit to boundaries that and create new boundaries with these people in my life and how I'm going to show up with those people in my life, which just made me love this new version of myself even more. So, spending your energy in a relationship, in a group, or a setting that continually pulls you back into fear, into shame, into reactivity, into old patterns, old behaviors, old attachment styles, and then wondering why you feel drained or stuck, it's because we're not in a space or with people where we can show up as our best self. So becoming more mindful of how you enter a space and how you leave it. Increase your awareness in that. If you notice your self-love shifts downward, if you leave feeling smaller, if you leave feeling silenced or ashamed, that's valuable information. Self-love means choosing to protect the version of you that's growing, that's aligned, that's worthy of space. And that might look like limiting your time in certain groups, saying no to certain invitations, or intentionally seeking out people, new places that honor your becoming. Who and what you surround yourself with either drains you or heals you. I like that. I'm going to say that again. Who or what you surround yourself with either drains you or heals you. When you funnel your time towards what brings out the best in you, you're curating spaces that let your true self breathe and just be. Loving yourself requires you to love how you are with others, not just when you're alone. This is how you protect the version of yourself you are working and have worked so hard to grow into. How you make sure that version has the room to stay, not go back and revert into old patterns. When you do this, you'll start to love who you are. Number four, ruthlessly prioritize your well being and vitality. This, yes, is about self care and taking it seriously. Because after betrayal, survival mode is what's often running the show. It's running your life. Maybe you're skipping meals. Maybe you're ignoring your body or burning yourself out trying to fix the relationship, do all the work, read all the books, listen to the podcast. Many women that I work with tell me, I don't have time. I don't have time for self care. But the truth is, we all have 24 hours in a day. The issue isn't time. The issue isn't that time chooses you. It's that you believe you don't get to choose how you use it. When you're living in betrayal trauma, your nervous system is often hijacked into that high alert, fix it mode, convinces you that it's your job to control and hold everything together. That state drains your vitality. It robs you of your very energy that you need to heal and all of the energy that it takes to just like yourself, let alone love yourself. Staying up late night after night, monitoring your partner's whereabouts, scrolling or replaying conversations, that rumination will kill you. So you wake up exhausted, foggy, disconnected from yourself. That is not self love, that's self abandonment. Staying in that kind of trauma response is going to keep you far away from the parts of you that need love. Show up for yourself in very simple, doable ways. Just 10 minutes in the morning to sit on the front porch with a cup of tea, cup of coffee, singing loudly in your car to songs that you love, to songs that uplift, to songs that empower, to songs that energize you on your way to pick up the kids. Skipping down your sidewalk when you go get the mail. Yes, I do that. And it makes me laugh. Laugh, laugh, laugh at yourself, laugh at your own jokes. Play. Playing is so healing. These moments of choosing yourself, even so very small, it will start to breathe back life into your body, into your mind, into your spirit. These are acts of love. This kind of self care in trauma recovery is not luxury, it's regulation. It is necessary if we want to regulate your very traumatized, hijacked nervous system. It's what tells your system, I matter, my needs matter. And here's the beautiful paradox. The more you prioritize caring for yourself, the more you will like to be with yourself. So right now, if you're like, I don't want to be with myself, I don't want to spend time with myself, I don't want to sit on the porch with myself, just myself. I don't like who I am. The more you practice and lean into it in these small intentional ways, the more you really will like to be with yourself. It is a paradox. I know, I get it. You'll start to notice I actually like and enjoy me and being with me. I do love who I am becoming. This part of you, the alive, playful, grounded self, may need to be reborn or even brought to life for the very first time. Doesn't matter which one that is. You get to start and it gets to start small. No one else can do that for you. No one. I've tried. It is really up to you to carve out the space, to choose yourself, to protect your vitality. And when you do, you will discover that loving yourself isn't abstract at all. It is something you feel because you gave yourself the gift of being alive and well. Last one, number 5, celebrate yourself. Self love is not, I repeat, not about perfection, about doing anything that I just even said. It is not about doing it perfect or getting it, quote, right. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about how you meet yourself in your progress, in your struggles, and even in your failures. One of the most powerful ways to build a loving relationship with yourself is to celebrate yourself. Not just the big milestones, but the everyday quiet wins, quiet acts of self courage, of creativity, of connectedness, of clarity, of compassion, of curiosity. This is really hard because most of us never were taught to celebrate ourselves, like if ever. In fact, our culture in general trains us to celebrate others while downplaying our own progress. That's what is deemed good or right or selfless, right? After betrayal, this gets even harder. You may believe the lie that you don't deserve celebration unless you've moved on, you're over it, you're fixed, you're perfect, quote, healed, like there's some arrival to that. And so you might tell yourself, I'm still a mess, I can't celebrate. Or I can't celebrate, I feel so broken. What is there to celebrate? But that mental story is just going to reinforce the self-hatred, the self-judgment, the criticism that keeps you from accessing the self-love that we're talking about today. It really truly doesn't have to be big. To celebrate the day that you got out of bed and showered when it felt impossible, or the time that you joined the support group and told your story out loud for the first time. Celebrate the moment that you had a voice, you spoke up and voiced your need instead of staying silent when you were shaken in your boots, but you did it anyway. Celebrate that. Or the boundary that you honored, even though someone else didn't like it and pushed back on it, but you honored it because that is what you needed and then aligned with your values. Celebrate the tiny step that you took towards healing today, even if it didn't look like much on the outside or to other people, you get to celebrate that for you. These are the moments worth pausing for, worth noticing, worth honoring, celebrating. Waiting until you're, quote, better or done healing or doing it perfectly before you allow yourself to feel proud or joyful. Every time you withhold celebrating, you reinforce those old limiting negative beliefs that you're not enough, that you're not special enough to celebrate. Choosing to celebrate your progress, your wisdom, your courage in real time is the shift. Meeting mistakes with compassion instead of shame, and then asking, what did I learn here? It didn't work out quite the way that I hoped or wanted or expected, but what did I learn? And I'm going to celebrate what I'm learning from this. This mindset shift builds self trust because you're no longer waiting for protection to be worthy of love. How many of you have done that and are doing that? Let's break that pattern. Every act of celebration tells your nervous system, I am worth noticing. I am worth honoring. I am worth joy. It starts to soften that self criticism that I think a lot of you are way too familiar with. It makes room for self compassion. It integrates all the parts of you, not just the polished public version, right? But the vulnerable, messy, resilient you. And the truth is, you will never hate yourself into change. You will never hate yourself into change, but you can absolutely love yourself into growth. What can you celebrate about yourself right now? What lie or mental story has been stopping you from doing so? Okay, those are the 5 things that when you practice, it will help you cultivate that self love. Loving yourself after betrayal is not a quick fix. And so these 5 things are not to quick fix any of this. I'm sorry. It is how you practice and how you begin. For those of you that don't know how to begin, we begin here. It's not about pretending that you're fine. Okay. It's not about invalidating that things aren't maybe okay right now. It's about slowly, intentionally choosing yourself in the places that you used to abandon yourself. It's about noticing that when you are out of alignment in your values, setting boundaries that protect your nervous system, curating the spaces and people that bring out the best in you, and prioritizing your vitality, and celebrating the brave, messy, beautiful steps that you take along the way. Self love doesn't mean that you're never going to struggle again. It means that you're learning to struggle with compassion instead of criticism. Every time that you show up for yourself in these ways, you really are teaching your body, your heart, your spirit such a valuable, beautiful truth. I matter. My needs matter. My safety matters. My voice matters because you do not need to be perfect to be worthy of love. You never did. Self love is loving yourself right here, right now, in progress, in pain, in becoming. The more I have practiced living this way, it is incredible to see how many things have changed for my good, for the good. Whether you stay in the relationship or not, you're no longer waiting for someone else to prove your worth or to approve of your worth. You're living as if you already know you're worthy because you are. I hope this episode also helps you know that the betrayal that you experience does not define you either. It's your healing. Your healing and how you heal does. Self love is like, think of it as the soil that everything else that you do grows from. If we have poison, if we have hate, if we have criticism in that soil, you can see why we can't grow into self love. So, the more you practice these 5 things alignment, boundaries, curating safe spaces, self care, and celebration the more you'll discover that the love you were searching for has been within you all along. Continue to choose healing, choose recovery, and choose you. Take care, everybody.
If you've been through betrayal, you know it's more than heartbreak. It can shake your sense of safety, trust, and even your connection to yourself. That's why we created the Courage to Thrive Intensive, a 4-day betrayal trauma intensive happening October 14th through the 17th in Spanish Fork, Utah. In this safe and supportive space, you'll learn how betrayal impacts your body, discover ways to create safety within, gain tools to manage triggers, and set healthy boundaries. Through experiential activities, somatic interventions, and practical tools, you'll leave with hope, clarity, and the courage to step forward in your healing. Learn more at chooserecoveryservices.com/intensives or click the link in the show notes.
Men, the mask that you wear to protect yourself is the same mask that keeps you from truly connecting. So this September 16th to the 19th in Spanish Fork, Utah, join me and Gene Honeycutt for the Unmasked Men's Intensive. Over 4 powerful days, you're going to explore integrity, uncover the roots of your patterns, and step into true authenticity. Some of our past participants have called it life-changing, finally a safe space to be real, vulnerable, and understood. The spots are going to be limited, so if you're ready to drop the mask and begin living with courage and connection, go to chooserecoveryservices.com and register, or book some time for us to talk about this some more. Looking forward to having you be there.
Hey, ladies, I want to tell you about something that could be the next step in your healing journey. It's my group coaching program, Believing in You. And it was created for women like you who've been through betrayal, abuse, or deep relationship pain and are ready to reconnect with yourself again. Believe in you again. Because when your world is shattered, it's not just the relationship that breaks, it's your belief in your own worth, your voice, your intuition, your future. And I get it. I live that. That's why I created a space where you don't have to figure it out alone. Each week, I coach you live, teaching tools, concepts, worksheets galore to help you really become more aware of what your old beliefs are and helping you shift into new beliefs. Teaching tools that actually support your nervous system healing and help you shift the beliefs that are keeping you stuck. You'll also get resources between sessions and be surrounded by a community of women who totally understand. It isn't about whether you're staying or leaving. It's about you choosing and learning to believe that you can trust yourself. You can heal, you can love, you can create something beautiful on the other side of this, no matter what the other person in the relationship does. You get a free 7-day trial. So come feel it out. If you've been doing this work and you're ready to take it deeper, or maybe you're just starting and you want a safe, supportive place to land, this is for you. Apply today and let's believe in you again.